Hello, everyone. Another podcast. Me and Killey. How's it going, Killey?
I'm doing good.
So today we're gonna talk about NCR, the aftermath, and then I guess we could talk a little bit about the Street Fighter V update today, and
hmm
on Monday, the two-part content update, and maybe just a little bit of Alex, because you and me have played Alex for a couple hours now, so kind of have an idea of the character a little bit, but yeah. So what do you think about NCR?
Better than final round from quality of matches.
Okay, so it was more organized, right? So we were able to see a lot more pro players on the stream. A
Not
lot of
only
good
that,
matches.
we had that pool 16 of death.
Yeah, you want to explain that a little to people that
Okay,
don't know?
yeah. So basically, all the pools were released in advance for pre-registered entrants, and then for any late or last-minute on-site registers, they put them all in one single pool, which was pool 16.
Yeah,
So you ended up having a lot of these top players that didn't register
for
until
some
last
reason,
minute. For
there's
some
even
reason.
suspiciously some people that lived in NorCal that didn't pre-register for some reason.
He had a somewhat of a legitimate excuse,
Yeah,
but still.
some people
Um,
did. Yes.
but yeah, you ended up who's in pool 16? Marn, Mago, Filipino champ, Alucard, Punko,
Well, wasn't
uh,
Punko stranded in Chicago or something? So he had an excuse.
something like that. I'm not sure. He
Okay.
actually he actually skipped his flight. So he was actually scheduled to go back to Korea from final round from
Okay.
Atlanta,
Uh huh.
and then he found out about NCR and then he skipped his flight.
Oh
He
yeah,
go
because
to
it's like a week after, so you might as well
yeah
stay, right?
yeah. So he skipped his flight and decided to go to NCR instead.
That's funny.
But yeah,
How
he
did
had a
Mago not
list of
pre-reg, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know how Mago didn't pre-reg for that stuff.
Yeah.
It was yeah, there was suspect, but
Mm-hmm.
Marn got funded by his stream viewers through a GoFundMe, and then he like, hey guys, I'm gonna body some fools, and then he's like, finds out he's in pool 16. Oh god, you paid for me to get bodied.
You came from the homeland, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, he had that amazing surprise.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So I think the death bracket is a really good compromise because when you have late registers, it kind of affects the pool in a way, and it kind of screws over the people that did pre-reg. And so having like a death bracket is like a good way to get everybody in, but at the same time you have like a little bit of a punishment, and it adds excitement for the viewers too.
Yeah,
So
so you
just
get the
like an
Cinderella
infinite size,
story.
yeah, an infinite size pool that just lasts forever with just a ton of people in it. So, yeah, I think other tournaments should follow that. I think it's a really good compromise, the death pool, for
Yep.
sure. Um, so who made it out of that death pool?
Marn in winners, and then Mago in losers.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, and there were some really good players in that pool that didn't make it out, but I guess it doesn't matter how. Like some people do have easy brackets and easy pools. Like that's how tournaments work, right?
hmm
But if you're expected to win that tournament, um, it doesn't matter
Shouldn't
what
have.
pool you're in. It doesn't matter who you're against. It doesn't. You're gonna play good players eventually, whether it's in the top 8 or the top 16 or in your pool. So, if you're the one to win the tournament, it doesn't matter where you are, you will win.
Hmm.
But there are some people that do slip through the cracks, kind of thing, and do have those easy brackets. But damn, that death pool it's harsh, man. It's harsh. So that's pretty nuts. Anyone worth mentioning that death pool? Because I think we're going to talk about most of the top 8. But
Yeah.
is there anyone
Uh,
in the pool you want to talk about? Any highlight matches? Anything in there?
Um, there were a lot of good matches overall. I just can't remember like all of them.
F
There
Champ
were
didn't make it out of it though. Hey.
no F Champ didn't. I forget who he lost to be honest, but yeah, it was a tough pool. Honestly, any of these players I would have lost, it wouldn't have surprised me.
Yeah.
Like if Mago didn't make it out, that wouldn't have surprised me. Like there were a
Mhm.
lot of quality players in that pool.
Mhm.
Punko was devastated when he lost.
Oh yeah, for sure. And honestly, with Punko, I strongly feel that Kami's not even his character. Like, do you agree
Doesn't
with
seem
that?
like it.
I,
I
I
don't.
feel
Yeah.
like Punko should use Mika. I think that's his kind of character. Not because Mika is like kind of a dumb character, but I just feel like Punko is like a risk taker. He likes to do hard reads, and I think Mika would be the most rewarding for him for that kind of play style. With Cammy, just block DP, get blown up kind of thing.
Just it's like you have to
down
work
back
so hard.
She gets down back so hard. I just think that Mika's more Punko style. If I were to choose a character for him, anyway, so hopefully he'll do some soul searching. But yeah, maybe he should have took that plane, right? But yeah, anybody else in there worth mentioning?
I honestly can't remember all the players that were in that death pool. There were quite a bit. So
yeah, it's kind of nuts. These two majors like back to back, man.
Yeah,
it's pretty nuts. So, Marn makes it out of the death bracket. Of all the people, I don't think anybody expected Marn to make it out. So
yeah,
that's pretty nuts. And then of course Mago made it out. Do you know who put him in losers?
Marn.
Did he? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so they clashed finally.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it had to, right? Like you had to.
Yeah.
In order to make it out.
Mm-hmm. All right, you want to go straight to the top 8? Or
Yeah.
is there something else you want to talk about?
Oh, we can go straight into top 8.
Okay, who do you want to talk about? Pick a player. You talk about Julio?
Yeah, let's start with Julio.
Julio, our rival. Still haven't run into him online yet, ever since the beta. But shout outs to Julio, man. I'm glad he's still using Ken though, instead of like someone like Nash or something. I think we got enough Nash players. In terms of Ken players, like the top Ken players, we got like Julio, we got Christy, we got Brent. Of all these Ken players, they all have like their own little different styles. Like some like to use a lot of V skill, some don't like to use V skill at all. I think like as a Ken player, you gotta find like that balance. You just can't not use it, and you can't just rely on it either. And another thing too is I noticed that Ken players, EX meter is really important for Ken. But one thing I just don't like in particular is that all three players use the EX Fireball a little too much in the neutral. Like, obviously the EX Fireball is a really good tool when, saving your Chin Breaker on the block string, right? Or as a combo tool, especially in the corner. And it's especially good when you have your V-Trigger activated. But besides that, the normal EX Fireball doesn't cause a knockdown. And I think it's just literally a waste of meter. Like, even if you land a hit with it, it's not going to do anything. And I noticed a lot of top Ken players are just randomly throwing it out, trying to relieve some pressure, but it's not good like that, right? And Ken's super is surprisingly good. It's got more range than it looks,
Yeah. Oh god, counter hit, crouch strong into super. That's really strong. Goes through fireballs. Good punish tool.
Yeah.
It's a solid critical art.
Mm-hmm. But Julio played well, and he got knocked out by Justin, didn't he?
Yeah, he still gets exploited by his bad hat. Like, Justin just knows.
Well, you said
Julio's
before
bad hat.
they played before, and you said he was falling for a lot of shimmies, right?
Yeah,
J1
and he
does
still
that quite often.
And he still fell for it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just I know. Like, it's really hard not to fall for the shimmy.
Of
Like,
course.
you have to be disciplined not to fall for the shimmy. But it's like, if you play J Wong enough, like as amount as Julio has, you have to catch on to those kind of habits, right?
Yeah.
And just be disciplined not to fall for it. Because it's like, if you constantly lose to the same player by the same tactic, right? Have to stop doing that.
Like, Julio does it himself, like Ken
Yeah, he
has one of
shimmies
the
a
best
lot.
shimmies in the game. Ken is super powerful for that. And he did a really good comeback on J1 too. I remember on the China stage.
Yeah.
He got with
Yeah,
those
he
two
did.
corner setups. Oh man, I love the damage I'll put on Ken. It's really good.
I was hoping for a noodle victory.
Yeah.
But J Wong denied that noodle victory.
Yeah, I think Jay Wong
He
just
beat him in the
did neutral
out of
so
base.
hard, and Ken's neutral is not the best, of course, right? But yeah, I really feel like just looking, seeing it's just the EX fireballs is like one improvement I could see a lot of Ken players doing. It's just don't use the normal one. It sucks. Ken's non V-Trigger EX fireball sucks. Just don't waste the meter on it. There's way better things to spend your meter on. And if not, just save for super, right? Anything else you want to talk about with Julio?
No.
It was nice seeing Ken in top 8.
Yeah, I mean, he's a strong player. I mean, he's made it top 8 like 3 times now, or top 16 at least. At least 3 times or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
he made it far in final round, if I recall correctly.
And I saw on his Twitter that he's signed up for a lot more tournaments coming up, so we're gonna see a lot more Julio, which is nice.
Yeah.
And I think he lost to Tokido and Wong, so
Yeah, Tokido like
nothing wrong
steamrolled.
with that, right?
Yeah.
Anyone else want to talk about now? Or next person to talk about? Sorry.
Yeah, let's talk about the next person. So, let's start from the bottom
Sure.
of the placement. So, Hitani and Ricky Ortiz finished in 7th place.
Okay.
So, Hitani got eliminated by Justin Wong.
Yes.
So that was the run back from final round, where Hitani eliminated Justin.
Yeah, from what I understand, when J1 knew he was going against Hitani in top 8, the night before the match, J1 played like a 100 match set with PR Balrog to get used to that match. So that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Like.
So he definitely prepped for that. I'm sure he was looking for that run back so badly.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, he came in prepared. I'm not sure whether Hitani did any preparation for Justin Wong. It was a close match at final round, so I would have hoped he would have studied more on the matchup, but it looked like Jae Wong had his number. It was still a pretty close match, but I felt like Jae Wong really prepared properly for the matchup.
Yes, he did. Yeah, you could definitely see an improvement this time. Yeah, going in. It was still a really good match, though.
Yeah, it was. It was very entertaining, and there was like basically a scenario, almost a reverse scenario. You know how like Jae Wong near the timeout went for that, not necessarily Hail Mary, but it was like he bet everything on this EX reversal just before time ran out, like dash EX or walk up EX reversal, see if he would bait, and Hitani just blocked it out. And then we had a similar situation where like time was running out, and I think Hitani did like stomps into like EX reversal.
Yeah, and it was good discipline on Justin's part to not press anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So he had a kind of like a roll reversal.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, that was kind of like a reverse situation. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'm pretty sure J1 was an eye opener, for sure, for Hitani and stuff, because I guess Hitani is considered the top player in Japan. But,
yeah, by many of the Japanese players, I think he's the best. So this is good.
Definitely an eye opener.
Because now it's 1-1 between the two, and you got this rivalry storyline going.
Yeah.
Into maybe the next major if they ever meet up again. So that's a nice thing going on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Hitani because I've been learning NorCal myself lately. I've been playing in the last couple of days, and watching Hitani, it seems like the character's not carrying him. It seems like it's just him. Like he's doing this almost the same things that other NorCal players are doing, but he's always doing them at the right time, making the right decisions. And his V skill use and activating V trigger almost immediately when he gets it, just all very smart decision making. Like Hitani is very good, so hopefully he still sticks with NorCal.
There was that one really clutch match between them. It was like down to the wire, and time was running out, like 10 seconds or so. And for some weird reason, like Hitani was already V trigger activated. And he didn't go in. He just kept zoning with V skill.
Yeah.
And then Jae Wong starts backdashing, and then he gets clipped by a V skill.
I remember that. Oh.
And then that was it. And then he ended up losing that round. And you're like, wow, like I can't believe Hitani did not go in.
Yeah.
In those like final seconds. And I'm like, is Hitani gonna lose like this? Like this is like tournament point here.
Yeah.
It's like, is he really just going to continue to zone with V skill like this? Like, what's the game plan here?
I guess he figured he was literally like 2-4 dashes away from getting in, right? So, anytime that last second burst, but dash in when J1 on point, J1 would have that standing medium kick ready to go, ready to rock and roll. So.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh my god, that's almost like Jae-Wong style in itself. Like, Jae-Wong does not care about the time. Even if he's at the life deficit, he will still down back you.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, wow, the discipline from Hitani in that situation to stick to that game plan, and it paid off.
It was just strange getting hit by a backdash out of all things,
Yeah, right.
Out of all the things. You figure J1 would just walk backwards.
Yeah.
But, that V skill, it comes out fast with the V trigger activated. It comes out fast. And the hitbox is a lot larger, too.
Yeah,
interesting.
So that was a really good round. It's funny how many times the matches between Hitani and J1 go to timeout.
Yeah, it's true. Hey.
Yeah.
obviously, Nikali can't just go in on Karen, so it's gonna be like a tough neutral.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very methodical, and both players feel like they're methodical, right? So, yeah, seeing it go into timeout is expected, I'd say. But it's not like a lame timeout, It's not
No.
lame like a cross Tekken kind of timeout thing. You know what I mean? It's like it's intense. Like when you see the timer turn red, it gets intense. It's not like a snooze fest. I don't know. It's a lot. It's the same thing, but it's not. For some reason.
Just the tension goes up higher because you can hear
Yeah.
like the screeching. You're like, how it's always down to the left.
Of course.
You always
a
hear
bunch
the
of
screeching.
goofballs. Yeah.
The howler monkeys come out in the
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. It feels different in Street Fighter 5 for some reason. It's intense.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
Well, that was an overall good match. Really enjoyed that one.
Mhm.
Then let's move on to Ricky Ortiz.
Yeah.
Ricky got eliminated by Marn. But I think it was more of this momentum Marn had going.
Mhm.
And like Marn's like a showman, right? Like he really likes to play off of the crowd and stuff.
Yes.
And Ricky really tried hard not to get affected. Like she didn't even pay attention to what Marn was doing to get the crowd
Yeah.
hype.
Yeah.
Just she remained like focused.
But the thing is like nobody wants to lose to Marn. So Marn has like no fear whatsoever.
Yeah,
I mean, like
right?
all
Like,
the
Marn
pressure is on Ricky. So it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was devastating. And it was more of always Marn trying to guess if she was gonna do EX spinning bird legs like on wake up every single time, just
Yeah.
guessing it, and it's so scary. It's so scary against Mika. But Ricky still played well though. Just
Ricky is the only Chun-Li player that I've seen utilize jump strong into legs as an air-to-air.
yeah, I noticed. That's because Ricky's reaction time is insane.
Yeah. So it was like,
yeah.
it was really
that's
nice.
True. That's one thing I noticed as well. Every single time, man.
Because like her anti-airs are good, but she doesn't get damage off of
Yeah,
them.
they're not impactful. Yeah.
Like I feel if you go get this like jump strong legs or EX legs air-to-air combo, I mean it's a little like it's not huge damage, but it's something.
Yeah.
Right?
The thing is that what was happening was Ricky was doing anti-air with standing light kick,
Yeah.
and then Marn would change it up and do the what's that down
The
medium punch
jump
with Mika.
down medium, yeah, that body splash basically.
The body splash, it would just beat it. So then Ricky had to change it up and then do a jumping medium punch into legs to stop it, right? And then, Chun-Li is a really good character, but she doesn't have that much health. So, Mika only has to land like 2 mix-ups on you, then you're in serious trouble. But Ricky played really solid. I think it's kind of unfortunate that Ricky had to play Marn, honestly. I would like to see Ricky play against some of the other players in top 8 for sure.
The thing is, Ricky played Fudo and Marn
Mhm.
before the main tournament, and like according to the commentary, Ricky bodied both of them like
Mhm.
10 or 15 games
Mhm.
over like maybe they're like 4 wins at most. Like I think she beat Marn 10-1 and like Fudo 15 to something or whatever like that. I can't remember the score, but like she must have went in pretty confident into the matchup. But it's like it's a tournament setting. Marn's got momentum. It's tough.
Yeah. But
And
it wasn't like it wasn't a one-sided match. Like it was really close. So
Sort of. I think Marn's like ran away with it
yeah.
at that point. But yeah, like it's just Mika, man. Like the other thing is like Ricky wasn't punishing as hard. Like some of the stuff that Marn does is very unsafe, and I felt like the players weren't punishing hard for these mistakes.
Well, of course. I'm sure we'll talk about that a lot once we get to
Yeah,
Marn.
once we
There's
get
some stuff I want to talk about that for sure.
So,
I'm just quickly browsing the match right now, just seeing how close it was. It was 2-2.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like, I remember it being close. I do remember it being close.
Okay. It felt like in the last set, like Marn had momentum and just like ran with it.
Yeah. Marn won 2 games in a row in the last set.
Yeah.
So it was, it was just it got to the point where Marn went total like insanity with the EX peaches. But like I said, we'll talk about that soon.
Oh, so that's what happened to Ricky. We've already talked about who.
Yeah, just in general, like with the I just want to talk about the Chun-Li players. Like I'm noticing is that it seems like a lot of the top Chun-Li players right now are. I think we talked about this before, but they're just thinking too much about comboing into the spinning bird kick
and
and
TK.
doing the TK legs way too much. And it was really refreshing to see Ricky just play a strong neutral and then still did the TK legs, but it was like a setup. It wasn't like forced.
Yeah, like
it was like a tick throw setup, right?
Yeah, right. The way Ricky uses TK legs is the proper way to use it. It is not a neutral tool.
It's not like a dive kick, you know?
Yeah. It is meant to complement her up close game.
Yes.
Like it is another layer that Chun-Li has. And it's not like she's got really strong walk speed, really strong up close normal, so she's got a good frame trap game. And then a good throw game because of the walk speed. And then she has this, and because of the walk speed, now she also has a good throw bait game. So you deal with all three of those, and then you throw TK legs into the mix, right? And then it's like the other person doesn't want to push buttons. But they have to push buttons at some point, otherwise they're going to get thrown, or TK legs, which puts her at +1.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do, right?
It's like Chun-Li doesn't even need it. It's just an additional tool.
It's strong. It's a very strong tool. But you have to know when and where to use it.
Mm-hmm. And it was just refreshing to see like Ricky just play a strong neutral, use the reaction time and the jumping medium punch into legs, and it was just refreshing because, like I said, I've seen a lot of top Chun-Li players right now are just doing it way too much, basically, and they would do so much better if they just ignored it altogether and just focused with Chun-Li's strong like neutral and her normals and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was worth mentioning. Okay, man. Who do you want to talk about now?
So Julio got 5th. We went over Julio. The other 5th place finisher was Liquid KnuckleDu.
Ah, yes, KnuckleDu. Nash. Yeah, well, how do you think KnuckleDu's Nash is like compared to Infiltration? Like the playstyle?
It's different, obviously. He doesn't utilize the dashes as much as Infiltration. Doesn't pick his spots as well as Infiltration, but it is a very solid Nash. His reaction times are really good, and he's just really on point with the anti-airs. And he knows like the overall game plan with Nash.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like his corner pressure is not as good. He doesn't utilize like the EX sonic booms as much for corner pressure. So like the rushdown aspect isn't as strong as Infiltration's, but his like neutral game is good, is solid. So he is a very good Nash player, but there's still gaps in his game plan as well as like matchup knowledge.
He seems just inexperienced because he's balancing between Street Fighter 4. Like he's winning Street Fighter 4 tournaments still, and the fact that he's getting top 8 and 5 is insane.
Yeah.
Pretty much like almost all the people that are placed in like top 16 or top 8 in Street Fighter 5 have given up on Street Fighter 4 and they're just focusing exclusively on Street Fighter 5. And then you have KnuckleDu here, is winning Street Fighter 4 tournaments, and then getting top 8 and 5 with Nash is insane. But I think he's just inexperienced. KnuckleDu is getting carried a lot by his insane reaction speed, and just he's a good player. He's talented, He's
Very
a really
talented.
Good player. He does this this corner setup nonstop Killey with Nash, where he goes Sonic Boom or something, and then he tries to cross you up with a air medium kick. What's up with that? Do you know what I'm talking about? He's done it so many times through the tournament, but the
V trigger one.
Yeah, he goes V trigger. And
so he's like Sonic Boom or EX Sonic Boom, and then he forward V triggers, and then that's a cross up setup.
Okay, it looks tricky because it looks like he lands in front though after the Sonic Boom hits.
It depends on the timing of your jumping medium.
Oh, it's ambiguous.
You can then land. It'll cross up, but then you land either in front or behind depending on your timing.
Yeah, I see KnuckleDu go for it every single time. So
it is a pretty decent mix-up.
Okay. Yeah, I know him doing that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just really solid. Like he ended up losing to Marn, and I feel like he could have been Marn. Mm-hmm. He was playing so solid that neutral game. He was anti-airing. Like Marn kept trying to do down medium kick, and KnuckleDu was having none of that. He was going EX Sonic side just to put a stop to that. Mm-hmm. And they just anti-aired so well. And then like he would zone, and then Marn would use Mika's crouching heavy kick to slide under it.
Mm-hmm.
But then he would whiff punish the slide with crouch roundhouse himself, right?
Hmm.
So he was just playing this really solid neutral game. I was like blown away, just like how he was just constantly whiff punishing and anti-airing Marn in all the right spots. And then Marn lands that one hit, and then it slipped away, and then that's it. NuckleDu lost, and I'm just like, oh man, you were playing so good, and then you got Mika.
The thing is that NuckleDu was dropping a lot of combos too at critical
Yeah,
moments.
yeah. He dropped it against Infiltration. So he got into top eight and winners, and then the first match he had to play was Infiltration, and then the second match he had to play was Marn.
Okay.
So in the Infiltration match, yeah, he had this really critical drop that would have given him either one round or one game. I can't remember. I think it was one game.
Yeah.
And he did the target combo. He went stand short forward target combo, and then you have to link stand or crouch jab afterwards into either Scythe or he went for EX Tragedy Assault, and
Okay.
he dropped the link, and he died as a result, and that would have been at least a game point for him, like at least one set.
And when that happens to you in tournament play, like you automatically go on tilt. Like it's
You
so hard
cannot.
to readjust your mind instantly in the moment after something like that happens. Because it's like it's taunting you, right? It's like I should have won that round. It's really hard to bounce back from that when that happens.
And it's like you cannot afford to make that kind of mistake against Infiltration, right?
Yeah.
Like is the current number one in SF5, and you cannot afford to give him rounds like that, right? Because your opportunity to win it afterwards just decreases. Like you can't afford those kind of mistakes. So it was really unfortunate that he lost in that fashion. Not like, but like Infiltration definitely outplayed NuckleDu. No doubt about it. But yeah, at least getting that one game would have been huge.
Like, can you imagine
Then
if it was like Chris G or something that dropped a combo like that? He would have to hit
he
the
would have been
eject
shaking
seat
his
button.
head.
He would have to hit the eject seat button instantly.
Oh god, yeah, he would have been on tilt for sure.
Yeah.
And like the funny thing is, NuckleDu has always been Infiltration and SF4 in tournament.
I didn't know that.
Currently, according to the commentators, NuckleDu has always been Infiltration in tournament in SF4, and
Weird.
yeah, so in SF5, Infiltration gets the run back.
And it's a mirror match, right? That's
Yeah, of
interesting
course.
too. Do you think Nash is a good fit for NuckleDu?
Yeah, because I mean he's a Guile main. The closest thing to Guile is Nash in this.
Of course.
Obviously not exact mirror, but the way that NuckleDu plays Guile is very offensive based, and I think Nash can play that similar game. So I think this is a nice fit for him. And it's obviously paying off. He made top 8, and I think he almost made top 8, top 16 at final round. I can't remember. He made it pretty far in final round. So yeah, that's a good for him. And then in the Marn match, man, it's just like the lack of matchup knowledge.
Yeah, it really was obvious then. Yeah.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but I expect him if he'll keep up with it. And I'm sure we'll see more of him, and he'll do better.
The thing is that look how far NuckleDu has gone, and he's so inexperienced. So, like the sky's the limit for him. You know, the room for improvement for NuckleDu is so huge
Yeah,
compared to other players. You know,
yeah,
so I'm looking to seeing NuckleDu consistently placing high in
Yeah.
future tournaments.
I'm a fan. He's legit.
Yeah.
He's always been legit. So, okay, so fourth place, Marn. So this is like the Cinderella
Dude,
story.
where do we even start with this guy, man?
Okay. So do we go with his backstory? Like Martin's overall a talented fighting game player. He's he's talented in multiple fighting games. Won Evo for TBC. He's a strong Guilty Gear player, strong SF player. Like he's just a strong fighting game player overall. But he's also like a clown, very stubborn in some ways.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to shit talk his play. Like
Yeah.
they don't respect his play because he just disrespects everyone. Right?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a showman as well. Moved to Vietnam. He's been living there for several years now. And
he
then
was like out of the scene basically for a bit.
yeah, he was pretty much out of the scene for a long time. And then he, like I said before, he got his stream viewers funded him through GoFundMe to go to NCR. And then he ends up in the death bracket. So he was going of minimal expectations, saying like, yeah, I'm probably not going to make it far.
But he wanted to put on a show at least.
Yeah, so he went in, and Mika's like the perfect character for Marn.
The absolute perfect character for Marn.
And he learned this new mid-screen setup from Magus at NCR, and then he was really utilizing it at the tournament, and
It's so stupid.
It was catching a lot of people by surprise. So basically, it's a V-trigger combo, which ends in a juggle state where you go neutral jump short, and then you can either stay in front or walk behind them and go behind. So
it's a true 50-50. Yeah.
It's a true 50-50, and it can lead back. If you land the hit, it leads back into another mix-up game afterwards.
That's like Mika in a nutshell, dude.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Marn just ran away. So with the loser, well, not losers, the death pool, and he ended up beating every top player that he had to face. And then out of the death pool in winners. And then he ran into Infiltration, and Infiltration was really kind of worried about the Mika
Infiltration
matchup.
said his most feared opponent is a Mika player.
Yeah, because Mika is very scary. For all the right reasons. Like, Nash has all the tools to keep Mika out, but Mika, if she gets in, it's a rough time, right?
Yeah.
The lack of reversals and all that stuff. The lack of putting Mika's pressure in check.
Like, once she gets you into that mix-up situation, it doesn't matter which player is on the left and which player is on the right. It doesn't, like, the skill levels don't matter at that point. It literally becomes a guessing game.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just limited to just Nash, the character. Like, I think even if you have a reversal, every character has to deal with that 50-50 game. So I don't think it's a matter of just character matchup. I think every character has the same problem. But yeah, Infiltration is just a much better player neutral-wise, and he ends up winning. And then forget who he beat afterwards to make it the top 8. I can't remember, but he ends up making top 8, and then he has to play Ricky. Beats Ricky, then he has to play NuckleDu. Beats NuckleDu, and then he has to play Wong. And then that's where he hits the wall.
Didn't he play... Oh, no, he played Mago once.
He played Mago in the death pool in winners finals, sent Mago to losers finals. And then his next match out of the death pool, I believe, was Infiltration.
So
that's not the losers.
Out of like the way Marn's playstyle was with Mika, it honestly, I'm just gonna say it didn't seem like top 8 caliber. I'm just gonna flat out say it because Marn was doing so much unsafe shit. It was crazy. Like, he would do constant wake up EX Peach, constant, the belly flop, constant, so much unsafe shit.
He would do the Irish whip and not confirm into it.
Like, isn't that thing minus a million?
It is minus 27 on block.
So what's going on here? Like, how is he here? Like,
because there's 2 reasons for this. One is that, okay, in terms of EX shooting Peach, nobody, like, the players who kept getting caught by this did not perfect their meaty setups. So they try to go for a meaty or something like that. It's not meaty enough because EX shooting Peach is frame 3 armor. So the first 2 frames, it does not have armor. If your meaty
it's not even a real reversal then.
It isn't. If your meaty is meaty on those first 2 frames, you will beat out Mika every time. And these players haven't mastered that against Mika, and they get blown up for it.
Okay, so you don't even have to throw her. You could just do a meaty then.
Yes, you can do a true meaty, and you'll blow it up.
Oh my god. Okay, see, that's... Yeah.
The other thing is that when people actually did block the shooting Peach, they didn't punish it properly. That thing is like at least minus 10 on block. I can do crouch fear starter with Nash against Mika every time I block that shooting Peach. It's huge damage, right? And people would like throw, or they're like jab starters. Like, they just don't realize like you can punish Mika really hard for blocking that EX shooting Peach. And we didn't see that. So that was problem number 1 with shooting Peach. Problem number 2 with the jump down, the body splash. Okay, the body splash is meant to be anti-airs. It can also be used as like a cross-up, fake cross-up kind of thing because of the way it works. And this is kind of a way for her to get in and like fake out fireball against zoning, to fake out anti-airs, as well as just fake out anti-airs.
Just change the trajectory altogether.
Yeah, because the hitbox on that thing is really good. Like
Okay.
you try to anti-air with a normal, most likely you're gonna get hit by
Like it
it.
beat Chun-Li's standing light kick anti-air, and I thought the anti-air was insane. Like it
Yeah.
flat out beat it when Ricky was using it. So I don't know. So what is this thing on block?
So this thing is punishable on block. I don't know what it is exactly in terms of frame data,
Yeah.
but you can punish it on block or on whiff.
Hmm.
Uh, but
I'm gonna
obviously,
go
people,
check right now while you're talking.
but like people are not experienced with it. They're not experienced with uh, anti-airing that or like that. It's an option. So Marn kind of got away with that too. I mean, he used it for the intended purposes, and it worked out. So it's up on the opponent to be prepared for that and to punish it accordingly. And they didn't, and so they get hit, causes a knockdown, all sorts of things. And then the other problem was the Irish whips, where he's not confirming it, and it's minus 27. Literally, I saw KnuckleDu block this,
Yep.
and then he jumped back. He jumped back afterwards.
Ew.
And it's like, no, it's minus 27. This is a free crouch fear starter. You could do anything. Like
Yeah.
you can forward dash and still punish Mika for this, right?
Uh huh.
Like you have all the time in the world to punish Mika for this, and people weren't doing it. And it's like part of it is because Mika's scary, right? Like
Hmm.
you get this thing where like, oh, Mika gives you a little breathing room, and you just want to like try to reset the neutral. But the thing is, you got to punish her for all of these mistakes. And like a lot of Mika's normals are negative on block. So you block a non-meaty stand strong. She's minus 2. That's the end of her turn. That's it. She can't do anything afterwards.
Hmm.
So end of her turn, and like even her target combo minus 5. Target combo can be punished on block. Like and these are the things that people aren't experienced with doing during tournament matches. And obviously, like there's tourney nerves, there's the momentum of the crowd that Marn had, how Marn plays, like a lot of things that come into play. But once people get more used to playing against Mika, we'll probably see her not be as effective. Like that mix-up
Well,
game
Mika is
will
like public enemy number 2 right now, whereas Nash is public enemy number 1.
for sure.
So, and the thing is, yeah, Marn, he was getting to people's heads, right? That helped him
Yeah.
a lot. The crowd was on Marn's side. Everyone wanted to see Marn win, and you can't say that Marn did not know his Mika. Like he knew all the mix-ups in every situation. It seems
Yeah.
right.
And
And
Martin's the type of player to play by feel and stuff, and he was making a lot of good reads on
yeah, he
people.
was. Yes.
So even though Martin did a lot of unsafe stuff, I mean, he was still playing the character the way the character is meant to be played.
But he got
And
away with a lot of stuff that he shouldn't
he
have been
did get
able to.
away. He did get away with a lot of stuff, and that was basically exposed when he played Justin because Justin brickwalled him,
Yeah.
punished him,
Gatekeeper, man.
just punished him on everything. Like just out neutraled him because Mika struggles in the neutral game.
Well, yeah,
Punished
he
him
was
all
basically
the
showing
unsafe
why
stuff.
we put Mika like somewhere in the middle, right, in our old tier list. Like that's basically how we imagined the match would go, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, Justin basically showed why you can't let Mika get away with these things and how you don't let Mika get away with those things. So, but I mean, that was a Cinderella story for Martin. Like when it wasn't been out of the scene for too long, gets flown down,
Hmm.
gets put in the death bracket, makes it out of the death bracket, makes it into top 8, starts winning in top 8, and then yeah, finishes in 4th.
I'm sure he's very satisfied with that placement, though.
Yeah, he
Did
is, but it's
very
also
well.
like Justin is a personal demon of his. He's never been Justin in tournament
Yeah,
before.
it's weird,
Like
man.
TVC, I think TVC is the only time
Yeah.
he's been Justin in tournament. But yeah, he's never been Justin in tournament before, and yeah, same thing happened here. The funny part is Justin Wong at NCR was handing out custom fortune cookies with custom fortunes
Yes,
that
I've been
he
seeing
made,
that all over Twitter.
and the one that Marn got was like, you will finish in 4th very soon.
What?
Something like that, right?
That's
Like you will,
crazy.
and so you got 4th place. It was hilarious.
That's insane, dude. I didn't know that. That's so funny. Well, maybe Marn will start another League of Legends team. We'll see.
Who knows?
That's funny.
Okay, so moving on, we got 3rd place Justin Wong with Karen.
Hmm.
Um, Justin really stepped up his game from final round, in my opinion.
You think so? I think he's still playing like super solid.
He's playing solid, but I think he really enjoys this game, and this game really plays to his strengths. Um, like he's winning off of the fundamentals, but his technical knowledge is not there yet. But I think he had stepped up his game, like at least from like understanding character matchups and player habits, right? Which is how he beat Hitani, which is how he beat other like Marn and stuff like that, right? And then he ends up hitting into Tokido, and he was beating Tokido. Like it was 2-0 in losers finals.
Oh no,
and,
I know what you're gonna mention. Oh man.
Yeah. And then he was about to beat Tokido. It was like basically third game. He was on tournament point, like match point.
It was gonna be a sweep.
It was gonna be a sweep. He landed the just frame Tenko, and then he dropped his super. Like the super didn't come out.
The most critical dropped combo in the entire tournament.
Yeah. And it's really weird because you could still do the light kick Mugen Kaku and then do super, right? Just to make it easier. And he didn't. He just went, and I don't know if he had like a drop input. I can't remember exactly whether the super whiffed or the super didn't come out. One or the other, right? Dropped the combo, and then Tokido wins. And then Mago goes over, coaches Tokido.
What do you think he said? Neutral jump?
I have no idea.
I think he said the neutral jump, man. I noticed a lot more neutral jumps afterwards.
He definitely like made some adjustments based on Mago's coaching, and then he swept Justin 3-0 afterwards. And I think
you know what Mago probably said? Sorry for interrupting you. He probably said, "If you want to win this, don't lose."
Don't lose.
That's what he probably told him, and then it made so much sense, afterwards.
There's like this epiphany that he had.
Yeah.
Right? I can't win this if I lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, he made the adjustments, and I think Justin was still on tilt from that loss, and he probably like reverse Wong factored himself, and he got 3-0'd basically. And
I think
was
Justin
it for Justin.
should have won that match, dude. I think he had Tokyo. I think he earned that win.
He had it. He had it, and then he dropped it. So, and that's on him, man. That was on him, and he didn't recover. So all of that is totally his fault.
Of course.
But I would have liked to seen what Justin would have brought to the Infiltration Nash
in the
matchup.
grand finals. I would have too.
That would have been really interesting because I think Karen has the right tools to kind of deal with Nash. I don't think she flat out beats Nash. Jay Wong thinks Karen beats Nash, but I don't think that's completely true.
Okay.
But I think it forces Nash to play differently because she has tools to get around his fireball zoning. He has to second guess on some things. And just kind of play it differently. Has to play to different strengths, and Karen has some ways. Like when she gets in, it's tough, right? Just because of her up close game is strong. So that would have been an interesting matchup to see, but no, didn't quite work out. And then we ended up with second place with Tokido. So Tokido had basically, this is the 2 chances in this tournament to play.
You're moving on to Tokido now. I still want to talk about Justin a little bit.
Oh, you still want to talk about Justin?
I still want to talk about Justin. We're not done with Justin yet.
All right.
So I just want to say that I think Karen or Karine is the best character for Justin. Like it complements his playstyle so well, And what do you think of how Justin uses Karen compared to Mago? Like what are the differences? You think?
I think fundamentally Justin is stronger. Like his footsie game is stronger. But execution-wise and like technical knowledge of the character is not as strong as Mago's.
So you just need to combine both players together to make the ultimate Karen player.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because like Karen has some really high damage output for 2 bars. She can go like just frame Tenko into light kick Mugen Kaku into.
Should you always go for that combo?
Huh?
You should. Go for that combo?
You should always go for that combo. Well, the extension, I don't know. It's up to the player preference, right? But like, just the basic B&B is like Tenko into light Mugen Kaku. But then afterwards, if you have 2 bars, you can go EX Tenko into EX Orochi, which is the shoulder. And it does a lot of damage and a lot of stun. So and it's not an easy combo by any means. Like it's easy in the context of like in comparison to SF4 or other fighting games, but for Street Fighter 5, this is one of the harder combos in the game.
Okay.
And Justin just has difficulties consistently doing it. While Mago, he's fairly consistent. I've seen him drop it a few times, but he is fairly consistent with that combo.
Okay.
So I feel like if Justin could master that combo, like his damage output goes up even higher, and he's really good at like hit confirming into like Tenko and stuff like that.
Yeah, in a tournament setting.
So like if he could get that combo down pat, he could get way more damage, way more mileage off of it. But he does like to save up for super, and he's really good at like Karen has so many ways to combo into that super. So that's another like weigh the risk reward basically. Do I want to go for like pure damage output with the 2 bars, or do I want to save for a 3rd bar for the critical art chance? But like, yeah. So there's the stark difference between their play styles, and just fundamentals will carry you a little bit further in this game, but you need the whole package.
Yeah, he just the way he uses, standing medium kick, crouching hard kick, standing light kick, and just it's just insane. How strong Karen's neutral game can be. It's really scary. And then when you add super on top of that, and then Justin likes to shimmy into that V trigger confirm. And then I really like how Justin's using the V trigger to gain information.
Yeah, he is so good at utilizing V trigger to gather information and make the appropriate reads. Because the thing is, he always, like the first time, he always goes for the backdash follow-up, which takes half your V trigger gauge. But he's always watching. Because if you go for any offensive follow-up with Karen, for like the mix-up, you can actually just jab Karen out of it. It's not a true block string. So if she tries to go for any sort of reset or mix-up after the initial Rekka, you can just jab her out, and that puts a stop to it. So he always backdash just to see what they do. And if he sees them throw a button, he will actually sacrifice the V-trigger for that round and do like double backdash. Just to see what they do. And if he notices that they're pushing buttons, then when it really counts, when he's fully stocked with super, he goes for the hard read, and he goes for the punch or kick follow-up, which is a true block, well, not quite a true block string. There's a little bit, it's a tight gap, but it will basically frame trap them and will counter hit their jab. And when he counter hits the jab, he goes super.
It's really good when you have a really long set against somebody.
Yeah. So, and it works. Like top 8 was 3 out of 5 format, and I think final round did the same. I think this is how CPT is handling it. Top 8 with SF5 is like 3 out of 5. Yeah. Which I like because the game is faster paced, damage is higher.
It's fine. It seems fast though.
Yeah, so like Justin fully utilizes those 3 games to gather all the information he can and makes the right reads and plays to maximize that V trigger.
Yeah, really, really like how Justin's playing, man. He's doing very well.
Yeah.
Okay, man. We're moving on to top 2 now.
Yep, so second place was Tokido.
So Tokido had 1 week to prepare, assuming he was going to face Infiltration again, and he did. Do you think Tokido made any adjustments?
There is some slight adjustments because you also have to remember that Daigo on Friday did a special stream for anti-Nash strategies with Ryu.
Yeah, and he was on the walkie-talkie with Tokido.
Basically, he was helping Tokido with this matchup. He analyzed the match, developed all these anti-Nash techs, implemented them when he could in matches on his stream, and then that was kind of like up to Tokido to try to implement all these things. And we didn't quite see all of them, in my opinion. I don't think Tokido fully implemented all the anti-Nash strats, and it was tough because it was on a Friday. I don't know if you had that information earlier or not, but it was on a Friday, and then the finals were on Sunday. And Tokido had 2 shots at Infiltration, one in winners finals, one in grand finals, and he just could not find the answer, could not adapt to Infiltration, and then got swept.
Yeah,
both times.
I still think Tokido on the Nash matchup, he's still throwing too many projectiles.
Yeah, you can like honestly in the mid to far range game, you cannot throw fireballs against
He's
Nash.
just
Nash will
giving Infil so much
you, you,
meter.
you're giving him free V gauge, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you cannot beat Nash in the fireball war as Ryu or Shoto, right? It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
The V skill will put a stop to that because it forces you to stop throwing fireballs. Otherwise, you're going to give him full V trigger,
Mm-hmm.
and the next time you throw a fireball, he's going to V trigger punish you.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he doesn't want to do V skill and he starts throwing fireballs, you can't beat him in the fireball game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot beat Nash in the fireball war as a Shoto. It doesn't work that way. So you have to rush down. And Nash is a brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
He wants you to try to do that because he's going to stop you with everything he had, all his tool set.
Yeah.
And that's where you take the most damage is trying to get in on Nash. And then when you do get in on Nash, it's like I'm gonna V reversal or V trigger out of there. See ya, sucker. Back to neutral. Come at me. Like play this game again.
Another
And if you
thing
don't
too.
know,
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
if you don't know how to handle that or how to mitigate the V trigger use or the V reversal, you're gonna lose outright. And that was part of Daigo's thing is that you have to limit Nash's V trigger use to once around. If you let him get it twice around, you're in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't see Tokido like fully implementing everything that he could. But it's by no means it like you can prep for Nash, but can you prep for infiltration? That kind of thing. And
Okay.
another part is like Ryu versus Nash. It doesn't look like a good matchup for Ryu. Daigo says otherwise though. Daigo says like he feels Ryu beats Nash.
Of course, he would say that.
He did beat that other Nash player. He had a gold ranked Nash in his lobby, first to 5, and I think he won 5-2, something like that. But yeah, but personally, just looking at the matchup and being a Nash player myself and playing lots of Ryus, I just don't feel like this is a good matchup for Ryu.
Okay. Well, just
or
you're
that
eliminating one of his core moves right off the hop. You know.
you force him to play a different game.
Mm-hmm.
A different strategy that you're taking away one of his tools until a certain point in the match.
Like
which
Nash
is when
can
you
still play the way he always plays, but Ryu can't.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of a sign right off the hop if there's a matchup's kind of in somebody's favor.
Yeah.
That's kind of a way to tell. Yeah.
But yeah, so just Tokido can adapt, and he ended up losing the infiltration. But otherwise, he just bodied the competition. Did not against anyone.
We're kind of critical on Tokido because like everybody knows he's so good. So I
He's
think it's more important to talk about how he can improve. But he's a monster, and I'm glad he's using Ryu instead of Dhalsim. I really like watching his Ryu play. His standing medium punch confirms are so good, and I like his style, his aggressive style. It's good.
He barely throws fireballs. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
Like really, it's surprising to see him throw fireballs against infiltration, but really against everyone else, he just doesn't really throw fireballs that often.
It's just that like you use it more against infiltration because like his normals have such long range. You're trying to apply some type of pressure. It's kind of like begging you to throw a projectile. You know, it's hard to hang with him. But Tokido, and another thing too is there's like this Japanese philosophy. I wouldn't say Japanese philosophy, but Daigo's philosophy of not using your super unless it's the killing blow, unless it's lethal. Just because if you use your super right off the hop, you are increasing the chances of your opponent being able to V trigger twice and so on, and magic pixel comebacks. But Tokido's philosophy is just to use super whenever you can. I noticed Tokido uses super right away whenever he can confirm into it. He doesn't care about blowing the meter. So it's really interesting to see that kind of play style. Get into damage when it counts, and as soon as you have the chance to do it. Another thing that Tokido in the info match, I'm sorry I keep talking about this matchup, but it's one that Tokido has to overcome. It was that he was also doing way too many meaty setups, way too many back hard kicks. The reason Tokido was doing it was because he's trying to bait infiltration to use his V trigger on wake up and trying to bait that out. But I didn't see Tokido do any shimmies whatsoever. And he did one time go for a throw, and he actually did throw infiltration. So it was really obvious that Infil was just down backing him hard. So I think Tokido really needs to implement that into his game, more shimmies, and don't go for the meaty setup every single time. Of course, it works on Hitani because he's a jab masher, but against Info, you're gonna get down backed. Did you notice that too? He was going for a lot of back hard kicks.
Yeah, well, everyone kept going for meaties against Infiltration because it's Nash, right? He doesn't have a reversal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm safe to apply pressure. But Infiltration is perfectly fine with that. Like, everyone's focused on their offense. Infiltration focuses on his defense, right? Like, focuses on, he knows what your character is capable of and when he can push buttons, when he can escape, when he can V reversal. And so he has no problems blocking that meaty if he's got V reversal, because he's like, I'm going to wait for the right moment, and I'm going to V reversal, or I'm going to V trigger, and I'm just going to get out of there. Or it's like, I'm so confident in my defense that I can block this out, because you haven't demonstrated to me that I need to worry about a throw or throw bait. And that was the thing, right? And like, he didn't need to worry about any of that. His defense was strong.
And then, of course, we have Tokido. He's not using parries that much either.
It's hard, though.
I know it's hard, of course, and that's why he doesn't do it, right? But I feel like for a Ryu player to like win in that matchup versus a player like Info, he has to land like a good parry every now and then.
The thing is, you need to parry the right moves against Nash, and Infiltration didn't do anything that would require Tokido to parry.
What about the bazooka knee? Didn't he do a lot of bazooka knees?
No, not too many. A few, but it's fast, and he's not prepared for it. Yeah. And it's like, he's not doing forward fierces, so you can't really expect him to V-skill something that he's not using. You can super
punish that, can't you?
Not with Ryu.
Not with Ryu, you sure?
Frame startup. I tested it. You can't. It's just too far away if he spaces it out properly. He's not using that many moonsaults, so can't really parry that. He's not doing too many forward roundhouses either, so can't really parry that. You don't want to parry sonic booms, because if you do it from far away, he's just going to dash in, bazooka knee, sonic side, forward fears, throw whatever, right? He'll punish you for even going for the parry. So you can't do that. So he's not doing anything, he's not overcommitting to anything that would require Ryu to parry in order to punish. So he's playing this very safe and solid game that the parry doesn't become applicable anymore. But the fact that the parry can do that is serving a purpose in itself. It means that Infiltration has to remove those aspects from his game plan, because he knows that the parry is an option. So in that aspect, you could say that the threat of the parry punish is sealing away some moves or tools that Infiltration has. But it's not like he needs to use those tools, because some of those tools are unsafe in general, and Nash doesn't need to rely on those tools in the first place.
I really want to see Daigo compete here and
step
up to the plate and show us, this tech that he's discovered and stuff. I really want to see how Daigo plays this Nash matchup. Because it seems like Daigo's focusing really hard on it. Because, like I said, Nash is public enemy number 1 right now.
Yeah, with 2 back-to-back victories. Infiltration has made himself and Nash public enemy number 1.
So everyone will be figuring out every single weakness Nash has. So, and Nash is like probably one of the most explored characters in the game right now.
Yes.
So it's really interesting. It's really interesting.
He is defining.
He's the what?
He's defining the meta right now.
So you want to move on to the champ?
Infiltration, yes.
You notice that all the Razor guys were using Mad Cat sticks? I just
yeah. I think they made an agreement with their sponsor, saying like, we can't have this issue happen again during tournament setting. We need a reliable stick for this tournament,
which is great for the players.
Yeah, so that was good. Fudo, Zen, and Infiltration were using Mad Cat sticks at the tournament just because their prototype wasn't cutting it. But it's a prototype. I mean, that's the whole point.
Of course.
So good for them though. Both Zen and Infiltration finished strong. Zen got 9th. Infiltration got 1st. In terms of Infiltration's play, I don't feel like he has been forced into a situation where he needs to really change his game plan. What he's doing right now is working, and it's up to everyone else to force him to change it up. And he hasn't been forced to do that. He hasn't even been forced to use a different character. And I guarantee you, like Infiltration, if he wants to learn another character, he will, and he will dominate with that character. But right now, he just doesn't need to.
He's above and beyond right now. No one has challenged him yet.
The thing is, Infiltration is playing SF5 the way SF5 is supposed to be played. Everyone else is still just playing, like, not Street Fighter 4, just like fundamentals of Street Fighter.
Okay.
They're not playing SF5 like SF5, basically. Not all of them, anyways. While Infiltration has like fully embraced the game engine, the game system, and all the mechanics and stuff like that, and he's fully exploited, not fully, but exploited most of it. Tokido, he's exploiting the game mechanics and stuff like that. And obviously he's adopted SF5, but he hasn't like. I don't know if he's fully transitioned over to SF5. Like he stopped playing SF4 and all that stuff, but it's just like parts of it is missing there. Jay Wong, you can see like parts of it is missing.
I really want to see Jay Wong play Info, man.
Yeah, I feel like he'd do well. I think he'd force Infiltration like that next step or
so
that next level.
So who's gonna take Info down, man? Who's gonna be the one to do it?
I don't know. Depends on who's going to what tournament and what characters they're using, what they're capable of, whether they improve. I don't know. It's anyone's game.
To be fair, though, like you said before, you were very confident that Info is going to win this tournament just because there was such a little prep time in between.
Exactly. Yeah, and Infiltration is just playing at the next level above everyone else, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see that. Like now that he's the guy to beat, everyone has all of his match footage. Everyone knows how he plays. We'll see what kind of adjustments people make, but really, there's not much to talk about Info, man. He's just godlike, you know?
The thing is, it's like, I don't understand how there's no prep work, because the way Infiltration has been playing is the same way he's been playing since Beta Phase 2! I've been watching this guy's stream for Nash Tech since Beta Phase 2, and the way he plays Nash has not changed that much. Besides the nerfs and balance changes to Nash, the neutral game and the way he plays is still pretty much the same thing. I mean, he's got some setups that he's developed over time, but like the neutral game and his defense and all that stuff, it's pretty much refined since Beta Phase 2. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot to like work off of from Infiltration, and he's defined the way Nash has been played. He's definitely influenced heavily how I play Nash since Beta Phase 2, and it's like nobody paid any attention to it.
I really hope people like realize how good of a character Nash is. You know, like Infiltration is really showing the potential of this character. Been saying for the longest time. You know,
he's brought out the hate of Nash so far. The amount of salt I see for Nash is unreal now.
Really?
Yeah. But people don't realize like Nash is not as easy as of a character to use. You can get away with some flowcharty stuff, but to play at Infiltration's level, at that tournament level, with that character, it's not easy.
And like I said, that character is really like one of the most explored characters in the game right now.
Exactly. And he's a very popular character too.
Yeah, very popular. And that character he's had a huge roller coaster ride of balances. Like remember when Nash used to be a really terrible character, when we first played him, and then just up and down, you know. So it's good that Infiltration stuck with him all the way. So it complements him really good. But like you said, Infiltration could easily drop Nash and just play a different character if he wanted to. He's that good.
This guy learned more than half the cast in SF4, like 16 characters in SF5, cakewalk for him if he wanted to. But he is focused on CPT. He's got to do what he's got to do to win.
Mm-hmm. I want to see someone challenge Infiltration. Like I want to see him get beat, and I want to see what Info does to improve. I want to see him to the next level, you know.
And the crazy thing is, like, they've asked Infiltration what his training regimen is, and it's like it's training mode to practice situations, and then playing random ranked matches, just ranked matches online. So he doesn't grind anything out with top level players. He just plays online and practices situations in his head in training mode. Mm-hmm. So that's how he understands character matchups, right? He's just put in the research, way more research than anybody else.
Yeah, he's hungry, man, and he deserves it. So
Yep.
hopefully one day, like I said, someone will challenge him and Infiltration will reveal his Bankai. I want to see that shit.
Well,
Anything
it
else?
has to.
What?
He has to at some point, man. Like otherwise, it's going to be boring, right? It's
Yeah.
not going to be entertaining if Infiltration is dominant for the entire year. There
Mhm.
has to be someone out there that's got to step up and challenge him, so that we get entertaining matches. Like we're getting entertaining matches, but I mean, when you get the grand finals, it's a blowout.
Yeah. Yeah, no one
So
likes to see a clean sweep in the finals, for sure.
yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about for NCR?
Very enjoyable tournament. Hats off to John Choi for the way it was organized this year.
Yeah, it was done really well. This is not really like anything to do with NCR, but no Alex trailer again.
Oh my god, that like unreal. I can't believe Capcom's marketing.
I was like in shock. Like I could
It's
not believe it.
Everyone was in shock because Alex was supposed to come out Wednesday, so it was like literally 3 days before Alex's release, and this was like the last major opportunity to showcase Alex where you have a high viewer count. Like I think NCR peaked at like 70,000 or 75,000 views or something like that,
Hmm.
and it would have been like a perfect opportunity to showcase Alex. Just a simple trailer, and they didn't deliver, and it was just like, what?
Yeah.
It's like from a marketing standpoint, you think it'd be really smart to first showcase your upcoming DLC character at a CPT premiere event, and then if you continue this trend throughout the year, it'd be another thing to look forward to at the end of the tournament, right?
Hmm.
Something to like leave off on a bigger high with
Hmm.
with this character reveal,
Hmm.
and then at the end of the trailer, you tease the next character,
Hmm.
and it keeps the hype train going. But we're not getting any of that. And
No.
what does Capcom do? Right today is Wednesday, the release of Alex, and that's when they released the trailer. We had people making fan-made trailers of Alex before the official trailer. And it's just like, what's going on here?
Like Capcom is so spoiled to have a fan base like this. Honestly,
they're very fortunate that the
extremely
the
spoiled.
IP of Street Fighter has such a huge following that
Get away
um,
with that. Yeah.
they can get away with. If this was like NRS, Arxis, or whatever like that, we'd never hear the end of it. You
Yeah.
get chewed out alive.
Hmm.
And then, yes, Capcom's getting a lot of flack for it, but it's not stopping the people to support the game and all that stuff. They kind of gotten away with it to a certain extent. I don't want to bash Capcom harshly for it, but it's
It's
a
not
fact.
something you can ignore either, though, right?
Yeah, it's a fact that the way SF5 was released and stuff like that, with the lack of content, the server issues and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of issues
Hmm.
with the way SF5 launch was handled, how post content's being handled,
Yeah.
and people are still like, it doesn't detract from how good of a game SF5 is by no means, but it's still like if this was any other AAA title game or whatever like that, they would not hear the end of it. They get so much flack for it.
It's like, but we're trying to grow the scene. We're trying, fighting games are a niche, and to have this kind of like, this kind of shit happen is ridiculous.
And the thing is, like for every other fighting game developer, they have to try twice as hard, include twice as much content,
Hmm.
and they still don't get the same player base as Street Fighter. Like, let's take a look at Guilty Gear XR Revelator.
Hmm.
So April 1st, so in Japan, and April 5th in North America, Arxis is releasing. If you pre-order Guilty Gear Revelator on the PSN store, you get an early access demo to Revelator, and it's basically the complete game. You get all the characters except for the 3 DLC characters that are not finished. You get a versus mode, you get a training mode, you get arcade mode, you get the trials. You get the trials here. It is more of a complete game than SF5 right now.
The pre-order version.
And it's just a demo. The only thing you don't get is like online mode, story mode, stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
But it is basically a complete, and as the title implies, it's an early access version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we're probably not going to get the same player base.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. It's because it's niche and all sorts of stuff. But like, look at how hard other companies have to put in, like how high they have to set the bar,
Mm-hmm.
and they still can't get the numbers in comparison to SF5. And look how minimal SF5 came out on launch.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't want to shit talk Capcom too like badly. Like, I'm not here to do that kind of thing, but it's really unfortunate to see things like that. I want to see developers who put in the effort, who put in the time, who are really good to the fan base to succeed, and sometimes it just doesn't work out that way.
That's well said. Okay, so what else do we want to talk about? We could talk about the updates.
Yeah, so the March update is done now. So there's 2 parts. The first part was on Monday, which we got 8-player battle lounges. The balance changes, the hidden balance, the changes to the not to the game, not necessarily game mechanics, but like some changes to the frame data of jumps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff to remove option selects.
You want to talk? Let's go straight to like the content. Like, what do you think of the tutorial? Have you checked it out?
Not really.
No, you haven't. You get fight money for it, man. You should check it out.
You really?
Yeah, you get fight money for watching it. You can skip the whole thing. You'll still get fight money.
Okay. From what I've seen the screenshots, it wasn't really quality checked very well. There are some spelling errors and stuff like that. Like, someone was like, screenshot Cammy spiral arrow tutorial, and the first line is missing the S in spiral arrow, so it just says Iroll arrow.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Quality check there, and it's like, wow. There's like formatting issues, grammar issues, stuff like that. And it's like, oh my god. It just really feels like this game has been rushed, just in this constant state of rushing to get the content out, and the quality checking is not fully there, and it shows, and it's really poor form to have these issues happening.
Well, this is like the same company that misspelled Revelatons.
Oh god,
right? On a game cover.
Yeah.
How do you misspell a game cover?
Revelations.
Yeah.
That was the 3DS version, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that was godlike, man. That was godlike. Yeah, the tutorial, it was kind of like what I've like feared the worst, which was going to be just text on the screen. The tutorial, you don't even actually interact in this one. It is literally a demonstration of text and viewing. So I was kind of shocked on that. I really wish that it was more thorough, but it's better than nothing. It would have been nice to have it during launch, actually the biggest thing that disappointed me was the character tutorials. I thought the character tutorials were horrible. They're literally like, you can go through that in like a minute and it doesn't explain anything. It doesn't even go through the normals, like the normal attacks and the uses of them. It blew me away. Really, it does. Like, I know we have good content on YouTube for like characters and stuff, but it's I don't know.
It was just part of building the community.
We're trying. Capcom is trying to make a very competitive fighting game, and you want to get people into this game. Capcom has purposely dumbed down the game to make it accessible for other players. Like, and instead of like taking the time and all their resources to actually teach the game, they instead just dumb it down, and it hurts the other players that like are seeking extreme amount of depth in a game, and I don't like that trade-off. I'd rather all the resources that be spent on making proper tutorials and proper teachings and how things are supposed to work, but instead like Capcom is using like concealing information, not showing us the hitboxes or the frame data. But people will figure it out anyways on day one anyways, because we'll just record it ourselves. But it's not put in the game because Capcom wants to prolong the life of it, right? It's just...
But that's not just Capcom, though. ArcSys does the same thing. They don't show the hitbox and the frame data right off the get-go. It takes some time. It takes a few months before they release that information.
Yeah.
And I remember someone basically hacked Under Night when got released on consoles for the hitbox information, and they had an entire website on the hitbox
Yeah, I remember
data.
you told me about that.
And then ArcSys told them to basically did a cease and desist. And they
Ew,
took
that sucks.
so they took down the site saying like I'm going to respect ArcSys wishes here, because yeah, having that hitbox data does accelerate the learning of the game or accelerate how fast people figure things out in the game, and it does lower the longevity of it as a result.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just Capcom that does that, but frame data is usually something people want right away, and
Yes.
thankfully we have the Prima guide. Like there were some things that were put in place to make the frame data accessible soon. Even with Alex, Alex is out within less than an hour. The frame data for Alex was updated on the Prima guide, the online version of the Prima guide.
Mm-hmm.
So at least like from that perspective, that information is readily available.
But that wasn't
when
even
needed.
Capcom, from what I understand. The guys that did the Prima guide, they had to get the frame data information
Yeah,
themselves. They weren't
yeah,
given
they had
to it
to.
from Capcom.
Yeah,
They used
yeah,
like equipment to find out the exact frame data of everything.
yeah.
So shoutouts to the Prima guys because they went above and beyond, right? But yeah, like otherwise we wouldn't have like the absolute correct information, especially on the complicated stuff like the V trigger cancels on block and hit and things like that. But yeah, like the tutorial is disappointing. The character guides are even more disappointing. It could have been easily stepped up, I feel. What else did they add content wise? We don't get our dailies yet, but I think yeah, we don't have any dailies yet.
No.
But we do have a ton of fight money. I'm sure no one's having fight money issues. And on top of that, all the characters will be free for rental until the Zenny money system is implemented. So Alex is free for everyone for now.
Yeah.
Trials. Yeah, trials. The trials, I was very disappointed in.
They're the easiest trials.
The thing is that
I finished the trials in an hour, and I don't care for trials. The fact that I can finish these trials, like I do have good execution here, but the fact that I actually took the time to do all the trials and I was able to finish them and within an hour, that's an issue.
How much fight money do you get for it?
I think you get 5,000 per character when you complete all the trials. I can't remember.
So that's like 95K?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, the trials are really easy, and I don't mind that they're easy, but I think the main issue is that they're not practical.
Mm-hmm.
As practical, anyways. I would at least would have liked to seen some trials that were like bread and butter type combos.
Oh man.
Because at least that's another means to teach players.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they're like unoptimized combos. There's something for players to get started with, but they're like not really optimized and stuff. So I feel it's just like, okay, you made them easy, but you didn't. But they also don't. They're also not like the stuff that players should be learning. So it's kind of like,
Do you want me to get in? I want to get in on this, okay?
Okay.
If you're gonna do trials in a game, there's two options. One, you either make it literally for a challenge. So you make the combos as impractical and as difficult as the game can possibly push it. Okay? I wouldn't say BlazBlue and KOF did that, but they definitely did like the most, like they did really hard combos. Some of them are kind of practical, especially the King of Fighter combos, but they pushed it to its absolute limits. They literally outright said they wanted people to pull their hair out trying to do the trials for King of Fighters. So that's one way you can do it, okay? The other way you can do it is have it optimized and practical. So you use it as a teaching tool to give out all the bread and butters, all the optimized combos. And then I think in Street Fighter V they failed on both sides. Just like you said. Yeah, sure, combos in Street Fighter V are easy to do, of course. But there are way harder combos than the one that were put in the trials. Way harder. There are some combos in Street Fighter V that require you to walk forward a pixel and land a hit. There's a couple characters. That would be difficult for people to do, and people would have problems on that, for sure. And they don't have that, or long optimized V-trigger cancel combos. It's like, I don't know, man. It could have been so much tougher and could have been better for teaching people too. Like, we got, like, Karen, who has, like, I think it was Trial 5, where it was just hard kick crush counter into her V skill. That was Trial 5. Like, I don't understand. You know?
That is a practical one.
I know, but why is it trial 5?
I don't know.
Like,
Well, the first was like the first were to do the cancels and stuff like that, and then midway they do crush counter stuff. So that one I think is fine because that is a practical one.
another thing too is like with the Street Fighter EX trials, they have things that are not even combos. They're like puzzles.
Puzzles, yeah.
I love that. Like they're like keep the opponent in the air for over 6 seconds, or reflect this many projectiles back, like or do this much damage or more, and it's like a puzzle, and it gets the community together, and it gets the ball rolling. And honestly, what Capcom should have did, and I've said this before, is they should have just made a community thing where you could submit your own trials, and then other people online can attempt them, and then just have it community based, and it would honestly be really fun. I'd be playing that all the time, man. And then you can even change a bit, like, oh, you can do like a Ryu warm up session where you put in all of his warm up combos, and people could do those. And there's so much they could do with it. Honestly, there's so much they could do with it. I am happy at least that Capcom did include Alex trials, because they said 16 trials, but they are doing the DLC character trials, it seems, right, with 17 trials. So
yep,
that's good at least. But they could have did a way better job, honestly. So that kind of sucks. At least they got demonstrations this time, right? But
yeah.
Of course, I'm still uploading the trials myself. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it sounds like we're disappointed with the content update, but the content update was extremely necessary for the game. I think it's just that our expectations are really high right now. Like, you know, it's 2016. NRS has really like shown.
There's other fighting games out there that basically have set the bar on how content should be, both single player and multiplayer, and it's just SF5 hasn't met the same level of quality.
I think they're just spoiled, man. I think they're just spoiled with the IP. The fan base is so strong that, you know, they can get away with this kind of stuff. That's what I think.
The battle lounges are great though. The 8-player battle lounges are working as intended, and they've made improvements to it, and they're enjoyable right now.
Yeah, I'm not lagging or anything when I spectate, and
nope.
And you can pass, and yeah, all that's working really fine. So I'm happy about that.
Like, I think the implementation of the 8-player battle lounges are really good, and they actually made improvements on the existing battle lounge system in general. So from that perspective, the most important aspect of that content update, being the battle lounge, was implemented successfully, in my opinion.
Okay. I really want Capcom to add a team battle system. I've been craving team battles for the longest time.
I don't know why. Just nobody uses it. It was in SF4. Nobody uses it.
I think maybe because of the netcode sucked. But like honestly, it'd be really cool if they do it right. Either do it like KOF styles, like a team of 3 would be so fun. I don't know.
The thing is, Tencent has already done this with their. They had like an online fighter. Tencent owns SNK. They own Riot. They created their own fighting game. It was basically a KOF style game.
Mm-hmm.
It was like abbreviated as XDZW. I can't pronounce the Chinese name for it.
Okay.
But yeah, one of their online features was 3v3.
Mm-hmm.
And because it is a KOF style game, it's 3v3, and you can have each player as one character in that style. But like the thing is, it's like every time a fighting game does something like that, it just never gets used. So I don't really see.
That's all I want to do, man. Like maybe it's that League of Legends thing, but I love teams. Like I love teams.
But it's a fighting game. People want to do 1v1, man. They don't care about.
There's got to be a way to do it, man. Maybe have it so it's like KOF, and like when you lose, the super bar carries over or something. Just something. Add something, or the life bar carries over to the next player. That would keep it like a team aspect, right?
When Super Street Fighter 4 first introduced it, it was played for maybe like a month or something like that, and then it was never played again.
Gotta bring it back.
And then Super Street Fighter 4 put in that tournament mode, right?
Mm.
Maybe used once or twice because people wanted trophies, and then it was never used again. You try to find people playing that during the later lifespan of SF4, and it was impossible.
Dude, I think it's just because the netcode sucked, man. I'm serious. That's got to be the reason. There's no other reason why. I don't see why people want to play teams. Because even Cross Tekken Online was the most hilarious, funnest thing ever, even though the netcode was
Cross Tekken was built on the fact that it was 2v2.
Hmm.
It's very different when it's a 1v1 game.
There's ways to still do it. That they
And I
don't have to
remember
change crazy engine things.
Cross Tekken Tournament had 2v2 as well, which I think was cool, but
Especially
yeah.
when you activate that thing where you both control your character at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's some, I think speaking of that, just to go on a little bit of tangent, I think the two best players that really utilized that kind of stuff that was so interesting was Andy OCR and Tatsu. 'Cause Andy
Okay.
OCR used Nina, Tatsu used Vega, and they had some of the like craziest like teamwork going for that game in the early lifespan, right? And then the ones that really just optimized it that was kind of boring was like Infiltration and Laugh
Oh
and
yeah, the high lows.
Micross and Combo Feed.
Oh my god,
Oh
dude.
god,
Cross
so
Tekken,
fun. Oh man.
the ultimate guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
Cross Tekken, the ultimate guilty pleasure. Seriously, dude. Anything else with the con? Oh, the colors in the shop.
oh,
They didn't give us the survival mode color, so we're screwed.
you still gotta play your survival
We're
mode to get.
screwed. They didn't change anything with survival, so if you want the survival mode colors, I don't think people are even gonna care anymore. They're just gonna buy the 11 to 14 or whatever.
Yeah, pretty
They don't
much.
even give a shit.
And then they buff survival mode to make it harder.
Yeah, this is a rumor, but apparently they stealth buff survival mode, and there's certain gimmicks that won't work on the AI anymore. That's word on the street. I didn't confirm that myself. Maybe I'll try Shoryuken my way with Ken and see what happens. But yeah, if that's the case, man, that's super troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. So, I guess you want to talk about Alex now?
Yeah.
You and me
So,
have only played Alex for a couple of hours, but yeah, anything you want to mention with Alex?
he's fun, no
Mm-hmm.
doubt about it. I think they did a really nice job with implementing Alex within this game engine.
What's up with his
Whether he,
neutral stance, dude? It looks
uh,
ridiculous.
his character animations are really good. I really like his character animations, but the character model, like his limbs are really huge and lanky, and he looks kind of like an animal, kind of like a gorilla or something like that. I remember Ultra David compared him to Bazu from Rumblefish 2.
What?
If you never played Rumblefish
Oh.
was made by Dimps, which made Street Fighter 4. But
Mm-hmm.
Rumblefish was a series of it was two fighting games that they made. And there's a character named Bazu, and he's like this really lanky character. He's got like really long limbs and stuff like that. I think he was top tier too.
Okay, I'm looking at him right now.
So Ultra David made that comparison too. Shoutouts to the Rumblefish 2 mention. I respect that. That's a game most people never heard of.
Oh my god. Yeah, man. Alex he's really strange, dude. His stomp kicks and his
They're
stun gun,
overheads.
they're overheads and they're really silly, and it kind of reminds me of like Nash's moonsault, where people
They're
are just gonna spam the hell out of it, but it's like super unsafe. But for some stupid reason, okay, the stomp kicks I think they're -5, but
Yeah.
for some stupid reason the EX stomp kick is +2 on block, and it's a fucking overhead.
And it's
What?
fast.
And it's fast. What's going on, man?
And the animation looks similar. The startup looks similar to stun gun. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna neutral jump the stun gun to beat it. And it's like, oh crap, I got hit by the fucking
And you can only stand quick rise it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think about Alex's anti-air options?
Forward Fierce is really good.
Oh, I
And
feel like most of them are slow though. Like
yeah,
when I
Forward
was
Fierce you
playing
gotta
online, I had problems.
but at worst you trade with Forward Fierce.
Okay.
And the reason like if you look at the hitbox for Forward Fierce, the actual hitbox for the attack is above his hurt box.
Okay. So it's
So it's
perfect.
So it's really good. And then EX knee, like his EX DP, there's no hurt box on it. That or I couldn't see
invincible.
it. It's like it's fully invincible.
The only
Obviously,
bad thing is that he has to be in the air, right?
yeah, it is strictly meant as an anti-air. It is not a reversal itself. It is an anti-air, but there's like no hurt box on it. So if someone jumps at you and you do
It's free.
EX knee, it's free. It's a free anti-air.
His V trigger is really interesting. Like he's got like a parry, and I feel like if for some reason it like it doesn't refill, but it sustains your V trigger bar when you use it. Like you can see the bar kind of come back to where it is when you constantly parry. with Alex. So I can't wait to see the stuff people figure out with that. It's really interesting. It makes it really scary, man. Like any of these normals could be canceled into. You could do it multiple times into like full combos. In terms of his command grab, it's not definitely not the best, but it's definitely not the worst of all the other command grab characters. The damage is kind of on the low side, but it is very high stun, and the range isn't like Necalli bad, but it's not good like Zangief.
The problem is you don't get much pressure when you land it. After you land power bomb and they quick rise, if you try to forward dash in, you're negative frames. They will jab. If they wake up jab, you're getting hit. It's guaranteed. So the best you can do is a stand roundhouse meaty stand, and that's okay-ish.
I was using that a few times. That's pretty good.
I'm sure I haven't really tested using like that dash elbow he has. I don't know if you can get him good meaty off of it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
People figure it out like if you do a forward throw and you do that, he's like it's a meaty +7 on hit, -1 on block, that kind of thing. So it's kind of similar to like Laura. Like a lot of aspects of Alex reminds me of Laura.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But I like his normals. I feel he has a good mid-range game or mid to long-range game with his normals. A lot of strong pokes, and he's got a pretty solid footsie game at this mid-range status. But then, like, I don't know, like his walk speed's it's okay. It's not too bad. Dashes are a little bit slower than what I like. So, like, I don't know how good he's going to be. Like, I feel like against zoners and fast footsie-based characters, I feel like he would struggle against them. But it's still underexplored right now.
Oh yeah, we're hours in. But so far he doesn't look terrible.
He doesn't look terrible. Like he has a lot of tools to deal with fireballs, like EX Stomp, EX Stun, or the Headbutt, the EX slide move or elbow move has armor on it like Laura, so that he has like multiple anti-fireball tactics. Just they're not free basically, and so I still think he can be zoned out in certain aspects. Not sure. Haven't played that matchup as Nash yet. And I'm not sure
his V skill is really interesting because it doesn't actually give him a counter hit. It gives him a new status in the game called hard hit.
Yes. So it's basically a counter hit, but instead of saying counter hit, it says hard hit.
The difference is that it actually will still do this counter hit property on a dizzied opponent.
Yes. So you can stun them, V skill, stand roundhouse, and it will still give you that crush counter.
Even when they're dizzy.
Yeah, but it'll just say hard hit.
Very, very interesting mechanic. So
it
makes you think about the future characters. You know what kind of new mechanics they're going to bring to the game.
Yeah, and he's like the only character that like. No, Cammy phases through people too. So he does a guard break but phases through them, or if on hit he still phases through them with his V trigger attack.
Okay.
So yeah, hard hit is just basically the only one. He reuses stuff like parry and guard breaks and stuff like that from Ryu.
Yeah, man. I honestly I want to play Alex like really badly right now. Like right after this podcast, I want to play Alex so badly. So I'm gonna probably boot up the stream soon too. Anything else you want to talk about Alex, man?
Fun. He's a fun character.
Yeah, he's fun. Looks like he's designed quite well. He doesn't look OP and he doesn't look trash, so that's good. And we'll see what kind of tech people discover through the week. It's going to be really interesting. And it's also going to be nice to see how the pro players will adapt to a new character coming almost every month and seeing the adjustments people have to make with these unfamiliar matchups. So that's really cool too.
I want to see the first like really effective Alex player in tournament. That's going to be interesting. Hamako and other people on Twitter, they're just a non-stop flood of Alex.
Oh, dude, I've been eagle-eyeing like this whole time like a hawk. I'm just like every video, I'm just like save. I'm so ready, man.
Lots of strategies and tactics being explored right now, so he's getting explored very thoroughly.
Yeah.
Probably even more so than some of the existing characters. Like Fong seems underexplored, Rashid seems underexplored, Laura seems underexplored, but Alex, man, he's getting a lot of attention right now.
You know, it's funny because we thought like as Street Fighter Five is deceptively simple, and I'm actually surprised we're saying this like 2 months in that there are still things that need to be explored. I figured maybe we would have the game aced by now. Every character should be aced by now, but that's not the case, right? We're still in the baby stages of the game where we're just still discovering the meta and the tech. I'm happy about that.
That's good though. That's definitely good.
I'm happy about that. Maybe it's because Capcom didn't give us the hitbox information.
There's still a lot of speaking of hitbox information, guys, go look up Alex's hitbox information, and I want you to laugh at his jump fears.
Oh yeah, you guys have to look at the hitbox for his jump fears. Dude, when I do the tutorial quiz, man, I should have a question on the quiz that says, "What is this move used for?" And then show a picture of the hitbox.
Name that normal.
yeah, name that.
Just show the hitbox. Name that normal. Or like a picture of the actual attack, and it's like draw the hitbox and hurtbox.
Oh man, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Alex's jump fears, hitbox and hurtbox are just hilarious for bad reasons.
Yeah.
It's not OP. It's by no means.
No. Oh hell no! Okay. It is like
it's the opposite of Ryu's jump short.
No, it is the opposite of Zero's jumping hard punch. It is the opposite. It is the opposite of pizza cutter attack. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It's so bad, Killey, that I almost think that the screenshot is inaccurate. Like they got the colors swapped.
It could be wrong. It could be wrong.
The colors were swapped by accident. It's so bad.
Oh man.
Before we close off this podcast, who do you think is gonna be the next character? Since we didn't get a teaser.
Good question. Guile maybe? Guile or
Balrog is the safe bet because he was already playable during Capcom Cup, which was like months ago. But I want to see Guile. I actually want to play Guile, but I want to play Alex too, so maybe I'll be switching between all the new DLC characters.
Okay, will story mode come out around roughly the same time as the next character?
Like we get one character, and then when June hits, and then we got story mode.
Okay.
So when story mode comes out, like the month of story mode in June, no characters coming out.
Oh, okay. Then I say Guile because I feel like he's necessary for the story mode.
Ooh, that's a good point too. I think after the story mode's released, I think we only got one or maybe two characters left to be released by that point. I wouldn't be surprised if Urian's the last character. He seems like the most difficult character to design for Street Fighter V.
Yeah, but he's also the most sought character right now.
Yeah.
Myself, I want Urian and Juri and Ibuki. Those three are, but Urian's number one on my list.
Okay. And then, we'll see next year for Capcom which characters would be on the top of the list for them to release. Probably Akuma, a guest character with Akuma, most likely a Tekken character. They really need Sagat, gentle Sagat. Sakura is like
you need that
popular character.
Yeah, you need that rival to Karen, man.
Yeah. But and then I think Ono will push for Blanca to make his return.
Blanca.
Yeah. So. Yeah, man. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to close this up?
Friday we were going to do that major.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna do another podcast really soon, guys. On this Friday, Killey's actually coming down to my place, and we're gonna do finally do a podcast where him and me are both here, and not doing this over Skype. And we're going to make a very long podcast over another tier list, but this time we're gonna do the tier list right, where we're not rushed. Killey's been working really hard on a future tier list here with many pros and cons of every character. We're going to go through it all. We're going to be very, very thorough with our explanations and reasoning. And we're also going to cross-compare with other popular tier lists. And I guess we're going to try to come as close as we can to a universal agreement on what everyone feels.
You'll never get close to a universal
as close as we can. to a universal agreement and hopefully have some closure to the hilarious tier list. But I think we have enough information now for most characters after these two majors and just what we've been seeing from the meta and where these characters actually lie. So I'm excited to do that podcast. It'll probably be a really long one because we're gonna be going through in much depth.
Yeah, it's probably 3 hours or more.
Yeah, warning you guys, it's gonna be a devastating one. So,
but you guys forced our hand here. There is a lot of flack.
Dude, no matter what we do, there's gonna be flack, man. Even
there was a lot of flack on the last one, mostly because
Killey,
it was too early. It was too early, which I agree. It was too early, but it was definitely.
We were forced to do it, man.
We were. It was heavily requested by our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to instead do this properly.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So that'll be really funny too. We should do a bonus stream that day too and bust up the Alex.
Oh God.
That'll be
bust that up. All right.
So you want to close this up?
Yeah, let's close this up.
All right, guys. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen to this podcast. Let me know what you guys think about NCR. Who are your favorite players? Who do you guys think will finally take down Infiltration in the future? What do you guys think of the content? And what do you guys think of Alex as a character? Since you guys all have him by the time you guys have listened to this podcast. But yeah, guys, hopefully we'll get that podcast done on Friday. I'll have it edited and ready to go on sometime during the weekend. So I'll see you guys next time.